My full name is Cristina Abreu Fialho de Melo Souza Wildermuth. Nobody calls me that. Everybody calls me Cris Wildermuth, or actually Cris. And if anybody calls me Christine, I think I'm in trouble. I'm an assistant professor at Drake University in Des Moines, Iowa. We have a Master of Science in Leadership Development. So the core classes are in various leadership topics, including change leadership, ethical leadership, global leadership, and I actually happen to teach all these three courses. And then we have a specialization in human resource management and another one in human resource development, and a third one in higher education. My first job right out of finishing my doctorate, when I decided that I really wanted to be a professor, was in an organizational leadership program at Wright State University in Ohio. But at that time I was teaching leadership courses, so HRM was not really my thing. I was still doing some training and development, teaching and projects like that. But then I knew I was coming to Drake, and I was supposed to be the champion of our human resource management program. So I felt that I knew a lot about this little part of HR, but I didn't know anything about anything else. So because I'm crazy, I thought, oh well, there's this certification thing, and maybe that would help me learn. And I think that was harder than finishing my dissertation. Because basically you get somebody who is really, really specialized, and there isn't anything in the rules that say I can't, but yes, it was a steep hill. So I studied like a maniac to pass that test. But I did pass it the first time round, so that was good. A lot of people ask me that because engagement is my main area of research. And people want that magic pill, right? They want to know, what is this one thing that I can do? And of course there isn't the one thing that you can do, because creating an engaged workforce depends on lots of different things, including whom are you hiring in the first place, and perhaps are you hiring people to do what they were born to do, or are you hiring them to do something that is totally foreign to them? But I would say that not so much one thing, but the most important thing, or one thing that will give you a lot of bang for your buck, is a culture of recognition. And when I say a culture of recognition, I don't mean you're going to do some elaborate recognition programs with some polka-dotted cards that everybody's supposed to pass around, or some very expensive trips to Himalaya. And also, it's not just something that you get from your boss or from the president once every 25 years. A culture of recognition is pervasive. It goes everywhere. And it's not only about your boss, it's also about your peers. I hear a lot, and I've heard a lot even in this conference, about how people don't leave organizations, they actually leave the boss, and there's all that conversation about how the mean, ugly boss is the one culprit. Two things. The first is that the boss does not exist in isolation. You don't have a nightmare boss because miraculously one flew over through the window into... You have a nightmare boss because you allowed that person to be there. That person was promoted by someone, that person is being rewarded by someone, and maybe non-nightmare people were not promoted to that position. So that's the first thing. It's too simplistic to say make sure that you have good supervisors. Well, yeah, but that's part of the whole culture. The second issue is that disengagement is contagious, really contagious. If you have one person who is disengaged, that person, there is this, I don't know, sea of disengagement that goes around. And in that sense, it's not only the boss that matters, it's also the peers, it's also the colleagues, it's how safe people feel. Now let's go back to recognition. Why does recognition matter? Is it that recognition impacts engagement directly? I don't think so. What's happening probably is that recognition is impacting what we call meaningfulness, which is the sense of value, of being valued and feeling that what you do is important and worthwhile, and that you really go to sleep at night and you think, wow, what I did was really, really important. That's what really matters to engagement. So why does recognition matter? Because it shows people that they are valued and valuable. So it's probably an indirect link, but at the end of the day, a culture of recognition is probably one of the best things that you can do to have an engaged workforce. The second thing I would say is a culture of safety and inclusion and camaraderie, because people do leave their peers too. They don't only leave their bosses.